Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel MedCap. In this video, we will talk about the major muscles of the gluteal region along with their clinical correlation and a case study which is based on the clinical correlation. In this video, I am going to talk about the origin and insertion of the major muscles of gluteal region. These include gluteus maximus, gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Then we will discuss a clinical correlation and a case study. First, to understand the origin and insertion of the muscles of the gluteal region, we will study something about the hip bone. Hip bone, basically it is divided into three parts: upper expanded part, a lower expanded part and an intermediate constricted part. Upper extended part, it is called as the ilium, and the lower extended part consists of a foramen called as obturator foramen, and the part anterior to this foramen it is called as the pubis, and the part posterior to foramen it is called as the ischium. And the intermediate constricted part, it consists of a cup shaped hollow which is called as the acetabulum. This is the outer surface of the hip bone and this is the inner surface of the hip bone. Now we will talk about the upper expanded part, that is the ilium. This ilium consists of a inner surface and outer surface. The outer surface is called as the gluteal surface. This gluteal surface is divided into 4 areas, 1, 2, 3 and 4 areas by 3 gluteal lines. These are posterior gluteal line, anterior gluteal line and the inferior gluteal line. And it consists of 2 ends, upper end and a lower end. The upper end, it is represented by a curved line. This is the curved line. So this curved line is called as the iliac crest. So this curved line is divided into larger ventral segment and a smaller dorsal segment. The larger ventral segment, it takes anterior 2/3 part and the smaller dorsal segment, it takes posterior 1/3 part. So this is the another diagram. It shows the muscles arising from the hip bone. So from here, from above the posterior gluteal line arises the gluteus maximus, and in between the posterior gluteal line and the anterior gluteal line arises the gluteus medius, and in between the inferior gluteal line and the anterior gluteal line arises the gluteus minimus. Now we will understand in detail about the origin, insertion, nerve supply and action of the major muscles of the gluteal region. First, we will talk about the gluteus maximus. Firstly, it arises from outer slope of the dorsal segment of the ilium. As I had already said, the iliac crest is divided into larger ventral segment and a smaller dorsal segment. So the origin is from outer slope of dorsal segment of the ilium. Next is from the posterior surface of the ilium. This we will understand through this diagram. As I had already said, the gluteal surface of the ilium, it is divided into 4 areas by the 3 gluteal lines. So the gluteus maximus arises from the posterior part of the gluteal surface. So this is the gluteal surface, so this is the posterior part of the gluteal surface. So it arises from the posterior part of the gluteal surface above the posterior gluteal line. So we can see here is the origin of the gluteus maximus. Next, it also arises from the dorsal surface of the sacrum. So this is the dorsal surface of the sacrum. It also arises from the dorsal surface of the sacrum, then from the side of the coccyx, and then from the sacrotuberous ligament. It is a ligament which extends from the sacrum and the ischial tuberosity. So the gluteus maximus, it also arises from the sacrotuberous ligament. Next, if we come to its insertion, it gets inserted into the iliotibial tract and the gluteal tuberosity of the femur. So iliotibial tract, the deep fascia of the thigh, it is called as the fascia lata, and this fascia lata on the lateral aspect of the thigh, it is thickened to form a band. This is called as the iliotibial tract. So the gluteus maximus inserts into this and a gluteal tuberosity of the femur. So this is the posterior view of the femur. So here is the gluteal tuberosity. So here comes and inserts the gluteus maximus. Next we will see its nerve supply. Its nerve supply is inferior gluteal nerve. Next, if we talk about the actions, it is the chief extensor of the hip joint, and it plays a very important role in rising from sitting position and maintaining the erect posture. So it is the chief extensor of the hip joint. So we can see here in the diagram, this is the extension of the hip joint. So this is the extension of one leg and this is the extension of the other leg. So this is the extension of the hip joint. So it plays a role as a chief extensor of the hip joint. Next, he said it is supplied by the inferior gluteal nerve. So you can see here the nerve is coming and inserting into the gluteus maximus. So it is supplying the gluteus maximus. So it is supplied by the inferior gluteal nerve. Next we will talk about the gluteus medius. Its origin arises from the outer surface of the ilium, that is the gluteal surface of the ilium, between the anterior and posterior gluteal line. As I had already said, it consists of three lines, the gluteal surface, anterior, posterior and inferior. So it arises in between the anterior and the posterior gluteal line. Then it inserts into the oblique ridge on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. So this is the greater trochanter. This is the anterior view of the femur. This is the posterior view of the femur. So it gets inserted into the oblique ridge on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. So this is the greater trochanter and this is the lesser trochanter. So it gets inserted onto the oblique ridge on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. Next we will talk about its nerve supply. Its nerve supply is the superior gluteal nerve, and its action is, it's the main abductor of the hip joint. Next is the last muscle, which is the gluteus minimus. Its origin is same from the gluteal surface of the ilium, but between the anterior and the inferior gluteal line. It arises between the anterior and the inferior gluteal line. Insertion is same, ridge on the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. The gluteus medius, it was arising from the ridge on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter, it was inserting on the ridge on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter, but the gluteus minimus, it inserts onto the ridge on the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Next, it is also supplied by the superior gluteal nerve, and its action is, it's also the abductor of the hip joint. So this is the abduction of the hip joint, that is taking away both of the legs away from the median plane. So it is the abduction of the hip joint. At lastly, we'll talk about a clinical correlation, that is the Trendelenburg sign. Acting from below both the gluteus medius and the minimus, both the muscles, they prevent the unsupported side of the pelvis from sagging during the walking. So the unsupported side of the pelvis, it is prevented from the sagging during the walking because of these two muscles, and hence they maintain the horizontal level of the pelvis, but provided the hip joint and the neck shaft angle of the femur, they both are normal. So provided these two are normal, the medius and the minimus, they prevent the pelvis from sagging during the walking. This is the neck shaft angle of the femur. This is the head of the femur, this is the neck of the femur, and this is the shaft of the femur. So the angle between the neck and the shaft, it is called as the neck shaft of the angle of the femur. Now, when the gluteus medius and the minimus of the one side, they are paralyzed due to the injury of the superior gluteal nerve. I had already said the nerve supply of the medius and the minimus muscles is superior gluteal nerve. So they will be paralyzed when there is injury to the superior gluteal nerve. So when these both muscles are paralyzed of one side, the pelvis sags on the healthy side if that foot is off the ground. So if one side is damaged because of the injury to the nerve, the other pelvis, it sags, and that is the healthy side pelvis, it sags if that foot is off the ground. Hence the person walks with a lurching gait. Now we will understand what is the meaning of a lurching gait. Gait, it is the person's manner of walking, and lurching, it means the making an abrupt or the unsteady movement. So because of the injury to the superior gluteal nerve, the pelvis sags, so the person walks with a lurching gait, with the abrupt or the unsteady movement the person walks. This is clinically known as the Trendelenburg sign. We will see this through the diagram. This is the normal case where the pelvis is supported by the gluteus medius and the minimus. Here it is also a diagram showing the normal case, where when both the side they are normal, then when one side the foot is off the ground, that side is either raised or it is prevented from the sagging. It is maintained in this way. But when one side is damaged or it is paralyzed because of the injury to the superior gluteal nerve, then the healthy side it sags when that foot is off the ground. Here we can see the right foot is, the right side of the muscles it is damaged because of the injury to the superior gluteal nerve. Then when the left foot it is off the ground, that side pelvis is sagging. We'll discuss a clinical case study. A 27-year-old political party worker sustained a bullet shot injury in his right buttock in the police firing during a rally for the price hike. He was admitted in the hospital and fully recovered. He was discharged from the hospital, but he developed a characteristic limp during the walking. Limp, its meaning is walking with a difficulty because of the injury or the stiffness of the leg. Then there was a sagging of the left hip while taking step on the right foot. So here we can see the right foot is on the ground, and when the left hip is off the ground, then it is sagging. So what might be the abnormality, or which nerve is most likely damaged? So he is positive for the Trendelenburg sign, and the nerve damaged is a superior gluteal nerve. Here we can see he is positive for the Trendelenburg sign because the left hip is sagging while he was taking step on the right foot. Here we can see he was also shot injury in his right buttock. So injury is in the right foot, but the left hip is sagging when the right foot is on the ground. So this was all about the origin, insertion, nerve supply and action of the major muscles of the gluteal region. If you like the content, then please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for the notifications of upcoming videos.